Yes, sir. Man, somebody had his drinks today, huh? Wow. Can you give me one more, bro, on the bar? Give me one more. Not bad, not bad. A September pay per view that's bigger than any main event that I've remembered in the past 10, 15 years is taking place at No Mercy in the Staples Center. Justin, I want your opinion first because I don't think this is the right time for Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. I know Braun Strowman is as hot as ever, but he's been like that all year long, and Brock Lesnar is always Brock Lesnar. But September, No Mercy, Brock and Braun, why? Yeah, I would even like it actually, potentially at Survivor Series. I mean, last year you had the mega main event of Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. So why not a year later have Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, a guy that realistically is the only guy that you think could actually kick Brock Lesnar's ass in real life. I mean, this is a guy in Braun Strowman that decimated the entire main event of SummerSlam. He looked unbelievable and continues to look unbelievable. And his feud with Roman Reigns is probably the best feud of 2017. I think if you do not give Braun Strowman the championship at No Mercy, it is a colossal letdown and a huge waste. I don't want to see a dirty finish. I don't want to see a double count out. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar going over on Braun Strowman. If you really think Braun Strowman is the guy in which WWE should, you put the title on Strowman and you have Brock Lesnar for once be the guy that comes back and chases. I'm not sure how many dates Brock Lesnar will have before going into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, but Braun Strowman as champion after No Mercy is the way to go for WWE. Mhm. I think it does, but I think they're going to have to dish out a lot more money than they want to for John Jones to come into WWE. I mean, the guy doesn't need to go to WWE. He's kind of a fan, I guess. He was, quote, watching and tweeting Brock Lesnar, heading into SummerSlam's main event. But I don't know if WWE can get that much out of John Jones on WWE's fan base. I know that there is some cross promotion. There has been before. But do you really think that John Jones is a guy that can come into WWE and take the criticism and fans will accept him? I think the only UFC guy right now that the fans could accept is Conor McGregor. I think that's the only guy that they'd want to see. And maybe they just want to see him get his ass kicked by somebody who's 100 pounds heavier. Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir. Fucking juice. Go ahead. Fucking douche. That's true. He has no knots. Yeah, that's true. Mmm. Mmm. Is he? Is he going to be in the babyface side on the fence? Not 100% sure about that. I think you look at the SmackDown Live roster right now. I can understand if they do that because he's going to get cheered no matter if you book him as a heel or a face. But I think Bobby Roode right now as a heel, there's so many great matchups you could pair him with on SmackDown Live. And the first one that comes to mind would be AJ Styles. Who does AJ Styles now have the feud with as, you know, the top face really in SmackDown? I don't think anybody else besides AJ Styles can put a feud together as the top babyface who doesn't get booed, who doesn't get cheered. He's constantly going to get cheered. So Bobby Roode right now, I think Bobby Roode's more fitted as a heel, Justin. You're going to get him cheered in Brooklyn, but what about Little Rock, Arkansas? What about Salt Lake City, Utah? These cities, if you book Bobby Roode like he was at NXT, they're going to boo him just like he was booed when he first came. Mm-hmm. But do you think he's finished in NXT? We've seen some crossover before, specifically with guys like Kevin Owens, who still had some business left to attend to. If you saw NXT this past week, you saw Bobby Roode talk about how he wasn't finished and he wants to get another opportunity. I mean, I'm not hating the debut because I think it was great. I think Bobby Roode on SmackDown Live changes the game for a lot of pieces on SmackDown. But you're leaving out a potential rematch against Drew McIntyre in NXT. And what about the feud with Roderick Strong? That's just going to fall down the wayside. Those guys put 2-3 months of really good storytelling, really good personal feuds on NXT television whenever there wasn't an NXT takeover to split up those 8 weeks. I don't know if Bobby Roode is 100% done with NXT. I think he gets maybe 1 or 2 more matches and then transitions over onto the main roster, similar to what we saw Kevin Owens do whenever he debuted on Raw. Yeah. And I have one big, bold prediction, Justin. It's an early favorite, so I can change my ways. Don't be surprised if Bobby Roode wins the 2018 Royal Rumble. It is September, baby. It's getting colder, so I got to heat up. I got to heat it up. The hot stove is cooking. You confirm it with Meltzer. You second it. Juice third it. Renell fourth it. I don't care. Everybody do it. That's the pick. Nah, close enough. Sweet. I'm going to do my quick NXT, and then it'll be over there. Who's that? Who's that yelling? Tell Hannah to relax. Fucking alcoholic she is. She's a lush. No, you don't. That's okay. I love you too, Hannah. All right, it'll be on YouTube in like 5 minutes. I'll put this up now. All right, see you, man. Welcome back to Chair Shot Reality on WrestleZone.com at Josh Eisenberg for live and in living color. After a great week of WWE and NXT action, it is now time for NXT in 90. NXT this past week was live from Brooklyn. We're going to talk about NXT TakeOver because that is what everybody is buzzing about. Johnny Gargano's loss on Andrade Cien Almas was a great kickoff to the match, to the pay-per-view. But I do think Andrade Cien Almas moves up the ladder and is a great guy to put as one of your top 3 heels in NXT. Speaking of heels, Authors of Pain picked up a loss against another kind of heel team, right? Kind of. Sanity are your new NXT Tag Team Champions, but Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly made one impact early, and they make another impact later. But we saw Asuka and Ember Moon competing for the NXT Women's Championship, one of the best women's matches that I've seen at TakeOver from Ember Moon, and Asuka continues to reign supreme. She gets a collarbone injury, but I expect Asuka to keep it for 6 to 8 weeks. Develop a tournament for the women. Give the women that aren't being utilized right now an opportunity to get a championship match against Asuka when healthy. But the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Roode, a bell-to-bell physical confrontation. You saw the machine in McIntyre take out the glorious one in Bobby Roode, but it did not come after controversy because you saw the debut of Adam Cole. Baby! He debuts, he aligns himself with O'Reilly, he aligns himself with Bobby Fish. The change, the future is now for NXT. NXT never ever rebuilds, but NXT always reloads. Let's send it in studio. Justin, your thoughts on Adam Cole and NXT?